the junior school, seated forward, can see what it is, even if they did not know. It is Harrington's lady boarder, old Baroness Sliema, tapping a cautious way with her ebony cane to her special prie-dieu in the dusk of St. Joseph's Chapel, followed by her dumpy, always breathless little companion, Mrs. Moss. Both wear mantillas of black lace, the Baroness's a sumptuous heirloom of an affair suggesting the Catholic majesty of old Madrid. Tall, stout, and of ponderous weight though the Baroness is, she leans heavily and as if possessively on her distressed companion, and requires assistance to lower her bulk onto the crimson faldstool, where she plops down with fat shoulders heaving. Mrs. Moss, more breathless than ever, subsides faintly into the background. The junior school exchanges angry glances and suppresses a desire to hiss, but the knowledgeable among them, and this is the majority, steal a glance at the young lay teacher of languages, Miss Venetia Gozo, who's just entered the chapel of Our Lady and directed, as she genuflects, a look of sheer hate out of her luscious black eyes at the old Baroness and her proceedings. Glances, and even nudges, are again exchanged. It is known in the school that Miss Gozo is the ward of the old Baroness, and this fact is charitably held to excuse the young woman's quick temper and tartness in class. Poor wretch, is the general opinion of the school, and there are long and wordy disputes as to whether the obviously un-English Miss Gozo is pretty or not. But now, sumptuously coped in shimmering white brocade, the priest has approached the altar, attended by a small seraph tossing a bowl of incense. The priest has opened the tabernacle door amid the blazing candles, and profoundly genuflected. Mother Van, from her sacristy, has floodlit the gracious scene, and, as the sacred host is mounted in the monstrance, all voices are raised, from that of Reverend Mother herself, down to the shrill pipe of Thistle McBinkie, the youngest child in the school, in the hymn of loving and triumphant greeting, O salutaris hostia. There is a slight rustling noise halfway down the aisle, and quick footsteps mute it to the utmost. Prudence Rockingham and Philomene Watts well know what it is, and make room beside them for a flushed and breathless Verity Goodchild, as with ill-adjusted veil she wraps herself in belated prayer. In spite of all Mother Peagle's efforts, Verity has been unable to find that veil, has mislaid her prayer book, and is late. Although she has waited outside the door, until that acceptable season when Reverend Mother is likely to be preoccupied with devotion, none the less she has felt that all-seeing eye boring into the small of her back, and she knows too well that in spite of the kindly intercession of Mother Peagle, she will be sent for by Reverend Mother into her parlour as soon as benediction is over, and not for the first time this term either. Low on her knees, her face hidden on her arms, Verity bethinks herself desperately what saint to pray to, which of all that Holy Communion in heaven has a lingering weakness for delinquent schoolgirls. She cannot think. But Philomene Watts, under cover of the resounding tantum ergo now struck up, prompts her in a whisper. "Have a go at St. Joseph, Verity. He's an awful decent old bird all round." With a gesture of gratitude, Verity prostrates herself in spirit at the feet of the patron of the Universal Church, and so do Philomene and Prudence in support of their unhappy friend. "Laudate Dominum," chants the choir. "Laudate eum omnes populi." It sounds rather unfeeling to Verity, and definitely premature. She shuts her eyes very tight, and pegs away at the litany of St. Joseph. Joseph justissime, Joseph fidelissime, custos virginum terro demonium. Some of the invocations amaze her with their aptness, but nonetheless, as the procession of girls hymns its way from the chapel,